Well, we have a lady, a little sister from Venezuela. Well, she is not that little, but she is a lady who is already having problems with her husband. Let's see what she asks us. Peace be upon you. I am here to ask for advice after some years. I spoke with you and it was very helpful, thank God. Thank you. I have been married for 23 years. Since I got married, I have received verbal humiliations. What a shame with those arrogant men. And I have endured a lot. I have always forgiven the infidelities. My God, what a shame, what a shame. Sometimes having to fulfill it this way, he comes home dirty from the street. Do you understand me? The man suddenly comes home dirty, smoking a cigarette, and thinks that the woman has no feelings. And he thinks that it's as if God doesn't want you to think that your wife always has to love the man, even if he is dirty. That's not how it is, dear brother. The woman is like an angel of God in your home, and the angel likes a clean man. Go to the bathroom, clean yourself up, put on some perfume, and wear nice clothes. You are visiting an angel of God. It's not right to visit your wife looking dirty. It says, sometimes having to fulfill like that, the dirty one from the street, how ugly, how ugly. 8 days ago, I found some videos of him with a woman who claimed to be my friend and my children's teacher. Betrayal is a very great pain. It is true. She is absolutely right. What a shame with these women who, for some reason, for some explanation, come close to our home and then go on to betray. I have asked God for help so many times, and I have been patient, as the sacred Quran says. But now I can't take it anymore. I feel very bad. I feel like I can't go on. I have 3 children. If I have endured to maintain this home, it is for them. I told my husband everything I saw, and he denies it. It's fine. If the man denies it, that's better. Imagine, dear sister, a shameless man. He is still at a good level. You didn't have to say it to her face. You are wrong. What you did was a big mistake on your part. If you realize that your husband has betrayed you, you don't have to say it to his face. You have to heal the man. I will explain that to you at the end. But what you did was a big mistake, to tell him to his face the sin he has committed. No, you shouldn't do it. Serious strategic mistake. The man who loses his shame will be a scoundrel. He will be worse than someone who shamelessly says he will betray you to your face. This is wrong. It is good that the man feels shame, feels sin, feels that he has done the worst, feels that he is guilty. That is very good. That the man feels bad for the sin he has committed, it is perfect. It's very good. But what you do to him, just like you do to him, is shameless. You are breaking the threads of respect. The man will tell you tomorrow, yes, I did it. And what can you do? More fights. No, that doesn't help to correct a person. No, that's what you've done. It wasn't right. I was accompanying you. Look, at that point, no, I don't agree. Let's see. So, he denies it. That's good. It's good that the man denies it. It is not sincerity for a man to say, yes, I am sleeping with other women. That is not sincerity. It is shamelessness from a man. If a man boldly tells his wife, yes, I will betray you every day, that is very wrong. It's very bad. Let's see what it says. What should I do? First, don't continue checking your phone or come with that, as it's a big mistake. I told my husband everything I saw and he denies it. Well, they were both mistakes. You said everything you reviewed on his phone. This is very bad. What should I do? Do not continue what you have done regarding the 2 mistakes. Neither check his phone nor tell him what you have seen. Forget about it. But you have to heal the man. I will tell you how. Very well. I feel disgusted looking at him. No, it's not okay. You, as a person who wants to heal another person, cannot let yourself be carried away by negative emotions. Let's see. That man. He has problems? Ready. We agree. Let's say he is sick. Let's assume we accept that. We will take all your words as true, even though we have no way to verify them. Let's say everything you have said is correct and perfect. You are a perfect woman, and the man has many flaws. Now we want to heal the sick. I'm going to ask you a question. Can a doctor who is very sick themselves transmit health and peace to a patient? No. No. First, you have to heal your wounds in your heart. You have to heal, get back to this state, rise up to be able to heal your husband. If not, a person who is already in a bad, negative state cannot correct another negative person with sin. You have to get better in order to help the man who has problems. So first, you need to fix yourself. To yourself emotionally, I'm going to say it, everyone is simple, but listen to me carefully. Let's see what happens. I felt disgusted looking at him. Can you imagine? So you feel disgusted when the man talks to you. You feel disgusted to talk to him. Then you insult him, complain about him, or do something to him, right? When you feel disgust, it's like seeing a pig coming towards you. How do you treat a dirty pig that approaches you? Do you hit it? Do you insult it? I don't know. Do you understand me? This is very wrong, and it will worsen the situation. Look, let's see. We don't want to unleash our anger. That won't lead us to do good. We want to heal the situation. We want to manage the situation. It is a fire. We do not want to ignite more fire in the house. It is home. It is burning. We want to control the fire and extinguish the fire, exterminate the fire. Evil must be exterminated, not expanded. What you do looking at your husband like a treacherous dog, a pig, is that he is a dirty male who only thinks about what his penis commands. No, 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 it is not right. It is not right. No, 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 that's not right, that's not right. You have to love him and help him heal. Just feeling disgusted doesn't work. A lot of anger, yes, that's true, it's normal, it's natural. But with natural methods, one cannot cure a disease. The natural course is that a sick person worsening until they die. If you let yourself be carried away by what is natural, I assure you that you will end up in divorce, separation. Your children will be left as victims, and they will never forgive you, and maybe God. I cannot speak on behalf of God, but I tell you that the children will never forgive you, because you have let yourself be carried away by what is natural. What is natural is to kill the victim. What is natural in the jungle is that they kill the victims. What is natural, being carried away by what is natural, which is anger, leads to the total destruction of your family. The rain comes, and what is natural is flooding. What is natural comes and destroys everything. We resist against nature. This is how it should be treated. So, it makes me very angry. No, please control your anger. Come to our class. Listen to us live. Maybe that will calm you down. Plead. Make supplications. Recite the Quran. Calm down, girl. Calm down. It's okay. Calm down. If that man is sick, he needs to be healed. No doubt about it. But calm down. I used to think a lot about committing suicide. God is the greatest. Commit suicide. Now you have a problem and you want to go to eternal hell. It's like someone is going to damage a finger. They say, since I have a damaged finger, I'm going to commit suicide. It's madness. Please, girl, what are you doing? You are not the first person. You are not the first woman whose husband has betrayed her. Of all the women in the world, the figures are horrifying. It says, out of every 3 women in England, one of them claims to have been a victim of betrayal. That is what came out in the official figures. But if we are to be fair, there is much more. When I was once at a university, I did that in more than 10 universities in Latin America, in different countries. I told them, if any of you have only had one partner, raise your hand. I asked everyone who was present there, if you've had sex with only one person, raise your hand, go ahead, do it. No one. Then I asked the following question. If you know someone who has only had sex with their partner, no one else, raise your hand. If you know someone, a woman, around 50 years old, raised her hand. God. I had a grandmother who apparently said that the only man she had ever touched was my grandfather. And I said, thank you, but that was what your grandmother told her. Can you imagine? So, let's see. I used to think a lot about committing suicide. My God, that is because, dear sister, maybe you do not pray. This leads me to assume that you do not pray. A person who prays has a strong connection with God. Never with earthquakes, with the storms of life, will you lose the helm of the ship of life. He will always save himself and his family from all storms, and that is it. Unfortunately, it is something normal that happens in our society. The betrayal of men nowadays due to widespread infidelity, pornography, and the sexualization of society is almost something normal in our society. Every man who has a female employee, beautiful and lovely, is under the threat of temptation from the enemy. Damn, how many of those men can resist? And how many of them give up and fall? Because he has that employee, he has that maid, he has this worker, he already has this one. For example, look, when a woman is your subject, if she is one of them, for instance, there are many employed women who are very hardworking and very pious, but out of 10, if you find one who is treacherous, it's already enough for your husband to be a traitor. Do you understand? It's not necessary for all women who are employees, who are workers, or whatever, for a woman who is subordinate, for all of them to be bad. No, no, no. For example, one is the boss of a company. Yes, in that company, how many female subordinates do you have? For example, I am a teacher at a university. I have 2,000 female students. For me to be a traitor, it is enough that one of the 2,000 students is a traitor. And among 2,000 women, there is one or more. In our society, these women who walk around practically half naked, in bikinis, with such tight clothing, showcasing their sexual attributes on the street, what do you think of them? Is she offering sex on the street? What is it? Does she mean to say why she is showing the size of her terrace in the street? It's like saying, look, I have this. Who is willing to pay for it? Look, what is happening in our society is wrong. If a woman is showing, exposing her sexual beauty, why does she do it? Why does she do it? To attract men? It has no other meaning. It's not that she does it for herself. That's crazy. That's why they love to be seen by other men. That's why they like to get likes. Why do these women post their semi-nude photos on social media, and when they are about to receive 1 million likes, they say, oh, 1 million men already. Or when she receives comments, oh, men say, oh, what a super sexy woman you are, then she loves it. Why? Because she is offering her sexuality, unfortunately. So, first know that this is normal for society. Society is a decaying society. I do not want to excuse your husband or justify him at all. I say that contagious disease is widespread in our society. It needs to be understood. It's not that your husband is the only exceptional case in a healthy society where everyone is perfect, good, and all that. Suddenly, your husband turned out wrong? No, no, no. If I haven't touched another woman, I am an exceptional case. Exceptional. And thanks to God, it is not because of me, because my wife was a very good woman, because I was always very strict, because my father was a prosecutor. I was afraid of betraying my wife. There are many things that made me a faithful man. It's not that I was already perfect because of my kindness. I never say that I am a perfect man. No, it's the situations, the circumstances. It's just that I live in a very religious city. I have never taught in class in the presence of ladies. That is to say, there is a university that is only for ladies. I will never teach a lady like that, face to face. I don't do it. If I have female students, they are all in the distance learning class. And I have already set many very strict conditions. For example, my students never have the right to call me. I have 2,000 Iranian students and many foreign Latina students, and I have never made video calls to any student. Never. In my life have I done that. If someone has it, let them bring the call. I am a very closed-off man. Too closed off, dear sister. It's not that I want my husband to be like Sheikh Qomi. No. Your husband is working on the street. He is on that side, on another side. There are so many women. God knows. Maybe if I were in your husband's place, God knows how many setbacks there are in this life. Maybe I would handle setbacks worse. Let's look at it in the next one. In the next one, we will see it in the next. I cannot justify or consider a man pure. We need to see the situation and fix it. That is what we can say. Yes, this is wrong. It is an illness. It is the evil that your husband has done, but it is not the end of time. It is not everything. It can be cured. It can be fixed. Things can be done. Your husband can be healed. There is a solution. It's not the end of the world. It's not that you're going to commit suicide. That's crazy. You then forgive me for the explanation. You have already released your anger. You need to control yourself, girl. You need to control yourself. It is an order from God. Yes, you are not the first. I am half of the woman in the world. Women around the world should commit suicide because they have horrible husbands who are addicted to pornography. No, please, control yourself, girl. What's wrong with you? It's not just my husband. There are so many men who have betrayed. Look. There. I almost told you nowadays, the majority of men betray their wives. Majority means about a third of men. That's a lot. It's a lot. Or more, the figures sometimes in some countries talk about 50 or more. I'm going to say a third of men. So, let's see. There are millions of women who have the same problem. So you don't have to commit suicide, girl. You must be intelligent. God has given you intellect to use it. Do not be led by demonic emotions. The devil comes to deceive your husband in this way, and he has also deceived you. What you express means that you have chosen it. It is a word from the devil that you are saying right now. Repent, girl. That was the word of the devil to say, I am going to commit suicide because my husband betrayed me. That he betrayed you. He is wrong. You do not have to be wrong. That is the devil who wants to see your annihilation. So, girl, be careful with what you say. No. Don't even think about it. Don't even dare to say, pronounce, think, or imagine that, oh, this problem is going to make me commit suicide. Just take your own life. It is to guarantee eternal hell. And do you know what eternity means? Can you perhaps put your hand in the fire of the stove? Can you put your hand in the fire? 1 minute holding your hand in the fire? How can you endure the eternity of the fire of hell? What's wrong with you? Are you crazy or what? So don't ever tell me that such a thing, such madness happens to you. Please, no, don't come with that. Yes, I am also angry with your husband. And I am also angry with you for what you have said. No, you do not have to commit suicide. What madness! And what about your children? That is the most selfish thing. That is rejecting all the teachings of all the prophets. That means that anger has led you to be unbelieving. Don't you believe in the teachings of all the prophets of God who have said that you will be held accountable for everything you have done? If someone takes a life, all the prophets of God said that they will remain condemned eternally in hell. Because you have been an ungrateful person to God, because you have taken away the opportunity of life, you are oppressing your children. With this thought in mind, because when a person thinks about such a thing, they first have to kill themselves in their imagination. When you kill yourself in your imagination, it means that you choose the greatest possible violence. This thought is very negative. That imagination is from the devil. Get it out. Get it out. Get it out. We'll see. So, she is also wrong. I feel disgusted looking at my husband, so you can't heal it. While you hate your husband, you cannot heal him. You have to love your husband by healing him. He is your husband. I feel disgusted looking at him, and a lot of anger. You need to control your rage. I used to think a lot about committing suicide. That is surrendering to the devil. And that is exactly what the devil, your enemy, wants. But thanks to his advice, well, Alhamdulillah, thanks to God, it was not my advice, but the advice of the prophets. So, I keep them in mind. We are currently in 4 separate rooms. I am unable to look him in the eyes. It disgusts and hurts me. May God reward him for his help. I am Colombian, and sometimes I can't stand so many insults. I have even asked God to take him out of my life. Is it wrong to ask God for that? Knowing that I have a home, please help me. Thank you. I hope to hear from you very soon. Let's see. Dear sister, I want you to listen to me from this moment on. Take the pen and the notebook to write. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, one by one we will see, first, when we encounter a blockage, an obstacle in our lives, when we have something so bitter in our lives, we must first understand that we are not the only ones who have that problem. Throughout human history, millions of people have faced the very same problem. Millions, I'm not talking about 1 or 2, I'm talking about millions of people. So, dear sister, you are not the only person who has had that problem. Millions of people throughout human history have faced the same issue. So calm down, take it easy. You are not alone. There are millions who have the same problem. Now the question is, what has happened to these millions of women who have had unfaithful partners? There are 2 types of actions, or rather reactions: emotional reaction and intelligent reaction. I will explain it. I hope you listen to me well. In psychology, this is referred to as how you manage your emotional intelligence to face an obstacle in life, which in this case is betrayal. Listen to me for the steps if you want to have a happy life again. Let's see. People who opt for an instant emotional reaction, well, we all feel anger when someone betrays us. It's how it breaks our heart, it hurts us, it's that we want to end that person. Just like the teeth. You grab it from the top with your hand closed, and you sit like this. It's like with so much rage and the revenge I want to take, if I could throw him into a grinder and feed him to the Caribbean sharks to be killed and eaten alive. Violence, rage, revenge. That is what anger does. I would like to surrender to anger. That is one option, that you are going to commit suicide or that you are going to kill yourself. There is a man, look, that happened in Iran. A woman killed her son and then committed suicide. First, he killed his son because he thought he had to free the child from that miserable life, and then he took his own life. Horrible, isn't it? Horrible. In another case, a man in India, I heard, came home and in a famine, first killed all his children, then his wife, and then he killed himself. The man committed suicide due to poverty. That is a reaction to anger. And we are going to study it with intellect, the inner prophet. The inner prophet wants our salvation, our happiness, and the devil wants our pain, our suffering. What do you have to choose? Your pain or your happiness? Logical to your happiness. So let's see what the inner prophet says, which coincides with all the teachings of the outer prophet Muhammad and all the men of God. May the peace and blessing of God be upon them. Let's take a look. So, if you choose the emotional route, you are surely going to hurt yourself. Why? Because you want to take revenge. When your priority is revenge, what do? there are different forms of revenge. And for the millions of women who were betrayed, those who could not resolve the problem were harmed in that way. For example, some women have already said, "We are going to betray our husbands. Since he betrayed me, I will betray him." So, when the man is not around, they go to bed with other men, with the boss, with a friend, with an uncle, with anyone, whatever it may be. It's like a way of, for example, if she is a teacher, going to bed with her students, I don't know, in some other way, right? With the butcher, with the baker, with whoever. This, I will tell you, dear sister, in most homes where the man is unfaithful, the woman will be unfaithful as well. That is true, unfortunately. Because she cannot control her anger and will become a victim of the devil, but she does it on purpose. Then the devil, putting you to that test, leads you to hell because you too have fallen into betrayal. When you betray, you betray. Betrayal has an addictive nature. When you start to betray your husband, then you will become addicted. And the husband will know, the man knows, you will see, both will find out about the betrayal. Either they will separate or they will have a dirty, filthy life. The fornicating man committed adultery, and the woman committed adultery. They made a series called The House of Cardboard, something like that. House of something like that is the name. It is an American series that shows two men and a woman, all politicians, who are both very dirty, and both have opted for the dirtiness of the other, for the wickedness of the other. That American series is very dirty. So, well, if you choose this kind of revenge, it means betrayal, and you will harm yourself here on earth. For adultery, you will damage the life beyond with hell. You will harm your children, because surely your children will never forgive you for what you have done, for what you are going to do. You will harm your husband, because you are essentially giving him the green light to continue, because the man now has a wounded conscience. Because when a man betrays, he feels bad. I receive many messages from men who say, "Hey, we are in a bad place because I have betrayed my wife." You are helping the man not to feel more pain. Because the man says, "My wife also betrays me." Then you are wrong, sister. If you betray your husband, you are very wrong, because you are paving the way to hell for your husband. You are aggravating the situation, so we do not choose that. And all the women who chose that, "My husband betrays me, I will betray my husband," have fallen into a path that has no exit. It is a dead-end street, and at the end is hell, surely. And many times men will not tolerate these women. They will poison her, they will kill her, they will rape her. In other words, that life will never be fixed. For a broken finger, we are going to end a life that is very wrong, very wrong. Let's see. Another option, next option. That some women opt for this, to take revenge with violence, to kill that man, I don't know, to kill themselves, to kill their children, I don't know, in some way, violence, whatever it is. So, the first emotional option was betrayal. The second is violence. So, that is much faster. That is to say, the woman commits suicide, goes to hell. She goes, we can say, poisons her husband or kills her husband. Any of these things are also crimes that will not leave you in peace, even on earth, because whoever sheds innocent blood, God will not forgive. Here in that land you have to pay for the blood you have shed. Then God no longer forgives you and you have to pay for it. The law doesn't leave you in peace, and the police don't leave you in peace, and all that. In other words, opting for violence doesn't work either. There is a third type of women who are left with a sense of inferiority, and generally, believing women fall into this third category. What can be said? She already knows that her husband is betraying her. She gets upset, But because she is a believing woman, she won't fix the situation because she doesn't know how, because she is afraid, because it makes her feel uncertain. She is not going to betray as she's a devout woman. She says, I am not going to do it. The man is bad, wicked, I don't care. I have a commitment to God, my Creator, and I will not betray myself. Generally, very religious women are like this. Muslim women, Catholic women, what are the believing women? They do not resort to violence or betrayal, but if they are going to live with a complex of inferiority their whole lives, they suffer quite a bit. They suffer quite a bit. And that is not good. Why? Because little by little, due to this complex, always negative, they will fall into total disappointment and hopelessness. Sometimes they go crazy. I saw it. I saw a case of that. She went crazy. And a crazy woman can no longer be a good wife, nor can she be a good mother, nor can she be a good person to herself. This means she harms everyone. This means she is silent, yes, but she will suffer. That won't fix things either. It means that if you opt for an emotional reaction, you are lost, dear sister. And if you think that you can have an ideal life here on earth, you are mistaken. If you leave that husband, and the third type of women who say, we eliminate the case with divorce. That is to say, the other group of generally autonomous believing women says, we are going to get a divorce. Separation. They opt for separation. And separation, divorce, in some cases is good, in some cases it is wrong. When is divorce acceptable? When that man is so wicked, drunk, abusive, shameless, and not a believer, there is no hope of healing him. When there is no hope, yes, I also choose divorce with one condition: that the woman can somehow support her family, or that she has a job, money to take care of herself in case of betrayal. Either there are parents, siblings, or someone who will support her financially. That means after the divorce you will not find a bigger problem than the economic problem. In this case, on the condition that the man is not a curable man, I also choose divorce. But in a healthy, normal, legal way, lawyer pay. And that's it. Separation. So, with two conditions: that the woman is financially stable and can support her family, her children, or can emigrate to another country, to another city, where she can sustain herself in a noble way. And the man is one of the most wicked who cannot be cured. In your case, I do not want your man to be like that. I think that in your case, if your man is Muslim, he is not a drunkard. He has only made that one mistake. And like that man, if you divorce that man and look for any other man, he will have flaws. I assure you, dear sister. We are living in Colombia, Venezuela. I know how the situation is unfolding. I know it. I lived it. So if you cannot handle a man who is a believer and has flaws, you won't be able to handle any other man. This means you are harming your children, because you have not been able to be a strong woman who can change the situation. So you are not going to forgive yourself. You yourself are not going to forgive yourself. So, what is my suggestion? Not opting for any emotional or legal solutions. Opt to heal the man. If the man prays, if the man is not a drunkard, listen to me regarding these conditions. If the man does not pray and is a drunkard, I choose divorce. But if the man is a drunkard, then there is no hope. If the man prays, he is not one of the drunks, not one of the wicked, not addicted to pornography, not addicted to drugs, those who hit their wives. No, he is none of that. He is a normal, common man in the West who occasionally falls into sin. From time to time, he falls into some sin. I don't want to justify it, but it happens. It's our Islamic community. That's how it is. Let's be realistic. So, in these cases, the best solution is to heal the man. How to heal him? First, you have to control yourself. Remove the negative emotions. Think how to do it. Forget the bad things about the man. Focus on the good things. For that, you need to do a task. Listen to me carefully. We are now at the solution. Every morning you get up, you are going to write down 10 positive points about the man. Why do you do this? To remember that this man is not a man from hell. He has good qualities. It is worth healing him. So you're going to say, yes, that's it. He did this, that. The good thing is that in life he did for you. Write it down. At noon, do 10 again. In each prayer, after each prayer, give thanks for 10. Thank God for that positive 10 point from your husband. So you are going to understand that your husband is not entirely a pig. No, he is a man who has backed you. Do you understand me? It's very important. Now you have to change the image of your husband from a pig to a man who has flaws. This is a miracle you need to perform in your mind, controlling your anger. Very well. Then, maybe you need to double your prayers and supplications, reciting more Quran and watching more videos. I recommend watching the Emotional Intelligence series. It is very mandatory. It is more than just recommended. That you need it urgently? It is a series of the Emotional Intelligence class. That class is given by you, dear sister. Come. For tomorrow, for noon, for the afternoon, for the night, after each prayer, take the paper and the pen, a little notebook, without looking at other pages. After each prayer, take a page and write down the good things about your husband. It has to be done for a whole week. 3 times each day, right? Or 5 times after each prayer. So now you have to come up with at least 20 pages, 21 pages about the virtues of your husband. Ready? Is it done? Very well. Now it's your turn to hand this notebook to your husband. Look, for example, his name is Juan. Mr. Juan, I want you to read these pages to me. Those are good things I think about you. And this is the best way to heal a sick person. That the sick person understands that you care for them and love them. What you ask him not to commit the sin is because you want him to. You leave it, and he is going to read it. Very well. So, yeah, a crazy person called me, I'm going to block them. Very well indeed. Let's continue with the response. This stupid person who called me made me lose my voice. We are going to continue. Sorry, a stupid person called me and I blocked him because he deserved it. Let's continue. Five, four, three, two, one, go. We start. So, when you have given the man the notebook, it's ready. In the meantime, you can also take advantage of many pieces of advice from great sages on the internet that explain how to deal with a person who has betrayed you. There are 2 types of recipes: negative, poisonous recipes, and wise recipes. Look at the wise recipes. You can understand them. There are many on the internet. There are quite a few. There are books, there are audiobooks, there is advice, there is everything. How can you change your perspective on this? And now, once you have healed that wound in your heart, tell your husband to sit down and ask him not to speak for 20 minutes. I ask you for 20 minutes. If you want that relationship to work and for us to continue, I ask you for 20 minutes during which you do not speak. In a situation where you have already given him food, you have even attended to him sexually. Watch out, because men have a character, even if he is the betraying man, even if he is the worst, even if he is. The man's body needs sexual attention. It is like a person who needs to urinate, a person who needs to eat, needs to drink, needs to breathe. The body of a man is different from the body of a woman. He needs sexual attention. Don't do it for his spirit, do it for his body. That man needs sexual attention. Make sure to attend to him sexually, these days as well. If you can't do it by hugging him, then do it with what you can. You can even do it with your hand, with whatever it is. But the man should receive sexual attention from you. Do you understand me? What I'm telling you is quite important. You say, no, he's a pig. No, leave this. We are talking about healing a sick person. It's like you say, he is a sick person. I am not going to give him food. He dies. The sick person dies. You have to give him food. And a man's food is sexual attention. A man without sexual attention is a wild, crazy person, and you cannot have a dialogue with him. I assure you, that's how it is. All the men who hear me here can confirm it. Give him the sexual attention that the man needs, but just talk to him. But you can stop talking to him, but give him the sexual attention he needs. Do you understand me? Very well. So, the man, when you have given him all the sexual attention he needed, but the man knows that you are not well. She says, look, if you want to continue that relationship, maybe you should give him sexual attention once a day. Whatever you can, whatever he wants, but let the man come to Lord's. So, after that week you tell him, if you want our relationship to work, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you. And first, you have prepared a paper. In that paper, you are going to explain why you have been with that man for the past 20 years. It means you are going to point out the good things about that man. That man wasn't entirely hell. He had good qualities. So in that role, you have prepared it. It says, do you know why I have been with you? And you are going to say it in a sincere, clear, and precise way. It says, you can't talk for 20 minutes. Listen to me. It's like a court. It's like a tribunal. Do you understand me? He says, look, do you know why for all these years I have worked in your house? Why for all these years I have loved you? I have served you. Do you know why? Because of this, a list of at least 20 points that you have previously given to read. And you have prepared him, you make him understand why he had good things while being with that man. Since you have made him understand why you have loved him, cared for him, and lived with him during those years, you are now going to explain the forbidden and your demands. And then you are going to tell him with a lot of respect, do not disrespect him, do not call him a dirty pig, you are not going to. He knows that he has betrayed. Do you understand me? There is no need to mention it. There is no need to reproach a man, to destroy a man. It does not make him better, it makes him wild. If you break a man, you discredit him, you defame him in public, you are making him wild. A wild wolf cannot be tamed. You cannot tame him. Now you want to tame a sick man. Put on the belt. Do you understand me? Yes. Tame him. Tie up this wild one. Do you understand me? Yes. You have to tame him. That is why we have said to remove all sexual need so that the man is free from that pressure. Because if a man is under the pressure of his lust, especially those men who betray, are generally also addicted to pornography. They are also addicted to another. So the head is not right, the body is not right, the testicles are not right, the man is not right. Under the pressure of the witness, we call him the testicular man. That is how we have to refer to him. In other words, the mind thinks only of sex, so she cannot talk to that man. He is a sexual savage. The man who betrays his wife cannot control himself. You have to free him. That is also your religious obligation. So I will speak to the man very clearly and precisely. Look, because of these good things you have had, I have stayed with you, and these are my demands. Talk about the future. Forget the past. I spoke about the future. From today on, know this teacher of the children. I am not going to see him, you are not going to invite him again, and I will never see him with you. And you are going to delete his number right now. Yes, you are going to express your demands clearly and precisely. Yes, period. It's over. With that filth, everything is over. No, nothing. I am not going to allow him to bring another female teacher for my children. Either a man or nothing. Thus, make the rules clear. This means you must close the entrance of the devil to your home. Once a man has shown that when there is a teacher or a maid in the house, he becomes weak, then that's it. The mess is over. A female secretary, no. You have to be there already. The man, he is already sick, so we set the conditions for the sick person. Women have no problem. That man is sick, so the sick person needs to be separated a little from society. You have to pray on time. This helps the man. When a man can pray on time, he will control his sexuality. You have to fast 2 days a week. When a man fasts, he controls his sexuality. I demand that you recite the Quran every night before sleeping. 2 pages of the Quran. I demand that you sit down to watch Sheikh's class. Also, set a series of requirements. Every Friday, you have to go participate in the Friday prayer in the mosque. In the mosque, let them see good people, believing people. The man may be surrounded by many traitors. That's why he is taking the example that you forbid him from watching the filthy movies from Hollywood. Maybe you are going to prohibit setting conditions on how to use the cell phone at home. You set a series of demands. But know that the man will not fulfill even 3% of the demands. So, among the demands, there should be one thing that is red, and one thing that is a recommendation. What is red is the door through which that demon entered your house. What is this teacher? That man already. Do you understand me? That needs to be closed off as red. That is to say, disconnecting from this woman, deleting the contact, not being together anymore, not seeing her again. This is going to be like red. And put yellow. Other recommendations like yellow. Do you understand me? The fact that a man must pray is mandatory. But this thing about fasting is recommended. So, just list 5 things that a man cannot miss. Don't let it be too much. Don't let it be more than the power of man. Don't make life impossible for him. 5 demands. I tell you these 5 that are very good. Delete contact with that woman. Do not allow any more female employees for him. Limit cell phone use. Don't watch Hollywood filth. And this about praying on time, I believe this is enough. With this. But another, to recite the Quran, go to the mosque, I don't know, to fast 2 days a week. This thing makes it recommendable. But this that another teacher, woman in the house or maid cannot come, this is indeed unconditional. Very well. Now, you have already given all of that, that's it. Go back to normal life as if nothing has happened. It's very difficult to take. Starting today, do not let the man speak. In this way, say, look, those are decisions that I am going to tell you. It's not that now, look, when you allow this to justify the sin, it no longer works with that. Don't respond to him. When the man starts to argue back, don't talk to him, just get up and leave. And you leave him the written paper, the rules you have told him. For these things, put down your good things and the conditions to continue in that life. And explain your own rules to him. The services you want to provide, I will be your wife for life. I am going to serve you sexually what you need. I will be a kind mom to your children. Now, list 10 things. Things, favors that you will do for the man. I will do it with great pleasure. May you be a faithful man. Very well. Since you have put all those conditions in writing, fine. You leave the man and get up. 2. The housework, taking care of the children, and all that. Normal, life is normal. Forget what the man has done, the bad things the man has done. Come back. Dear, how are you? Look at you. Let's focus on you. It's like normal. Treat him normally. Don't treat him like, look, dear sister, how you treat your husband. You are treating it as it is. For example, if you treat him like a traitor, you are turning your husband into a traitor. If you treat him like a reliable man, the man will become faithful again. For example, if you always call me traitor, 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 I will say, look, I am a traitor, I will do it. But if you tell me, believer man, I will say, look, I am a believer man, responsible man, I will be a responsible believer. So be very careful. What you are about to say will be expressed. Always in your words, in your dialogue, you must address the man, Lord of my house, my love, like this, with words of great respect, even though it hurts. It doesn't matter. We are healing a sick person. Sometimes it hurts. To the doctor and to the patient, a surgery. You are removing a cancerous gland from that man's heart. It's hard. Yes, it's hard for you too. The doctor who is removing a cancerous gland is sweating. It hurts. You have to bleed things out, and it is also difficult for the man, so you help him. And in the end, dear sister, sometimes men find themselves in a situation, in a society that excites them too much. It provokes social media, video games, everything has a sexual aspect. First, they need to reduce the sexual aspect of life. There is no need to go to the beach. There is no need to go to places where women are naked. There is no need to go to markets where women are less covered. Reduce the provocative situations for your husband. Make him understand that he needs to reduce them. And increase your husband's sexual attention. I will always say this advice 1,000 times. I have said it before. I have always said, look, dear sister, if you want your husband not to betray you, then don't leave him, even a drop of semen in his testicle. Make the most of it. If it takes 2 times a day, then let it be. The man, already. I will say, Avicenna states that once a week is sufficient for a normal man, or perhaps once every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks once, or once a week. Some want it more, twice a week. That is normal, but there are men who are now abnormal. I mean, the man who has problems, has masturbation, has pornography, has betrayal, has fornication, that man is already in a sick state. That man should not be left in peace. I'm telling you this very clearly. There are some people who criticize me for saying that. Look, dear brother, the religion of God is to save a person from sin. I understand that it's hard to say this. Sexual education is difficult to explain. I get it, but what am I supposed to do? Let society suffer more, or tell them all the teachings that exist. Do you know what the narrations say? They say that a woman should attend to her husband sexually every night, offering herself better each time with sexy clothing, embracing her husband, and rubbing her body against his. They say, here I am, ready for whatever you desire. Thus, the woman offers. The man should have no excuse tomorrow to betray her. That's what I'm saying. Yes, I am religious. We need to talk about spirituality. That is part of spirituality, sexual education. The Prophet of Islam, the most spiritual man in the world, taught us that human beings have many aspects to attend to. One aspect of the world of the body is sex. It must be understood. It is a right. Woman, dress in the best way. Be the most beautiful woman in your home. But not sexy in front of the children. Not sexy, but attractive. Yes, they are 2 different things. You know what I mean? Attractive in bed. Sexy in bed, sorry. Sexy. Beautiful at home. Scented. Clean. Styled. Your whole body clean. I would like a woman who is sweet all over for her husband. Do you understand? Help him with his sexual fantasy of what is permissible. Unfortunately, people, taking pornography as an example, are harming their partner. Well, help that man so that he has no more sexual needs. I think with that word I tell you everything. For a while, until you see the man, it is normal. When he leaves the house, he is not a voyeur looking at all the women. It is that first Jesus goes with him and says, first the man looks and then he commits the sin. So the door to sin is the eye. You have to help your husband heal his eye, his gaze. Morbid gaze. A morbid gaze was the door to that. If the man did not look at that teacher, that professor, in a morbid way, there is no trust. Nothing of trust. The man is fire. The woman is cotton. He gets close, he burns. That's it. It's Sheikh Qomi. It's trustworthy. Nothing is trustworthy. A woman is a woman. A man is a man. That's a lie that they taught you in the West. Don't talk about that filth. We're not that hot-headed? No, just kidding, brother. Everything they told you is a lie. When a stranger man is with a stranger woman like this, behind closed doors, the devil has sworn that the third party will be the devil. That woman may be 50 years old, and you may be 15 years old. The third one is the devil. That woman is 15 years old, and you are 50 years old. The third one is definitely the devil. That which makes it private, this is not that nothing happens. Everything happens. That is why there is so much sin on earth, because they neglected the norms of God. So do not neglect the commandments of God and trust in God. In the meantime, make many supplications, recite the Quran. You have to double all of that and not complain or relate it to other people, because when you complain, it will increase that negative feeling. You don't have to complain, but you have to take these gestures to heal your husband. Help him recover. A strong man does not betray his wife. Make him feel strong. Make him feel strong. Make him feel strong. May God bless you, and I will also pray that God resolves your problem. Peace be upon you and God's mercy and blessings.